And that's the thing, is there's a lot of information and misinformation going around and fears because of what's happening in Japan, and those fears radiate all the way right back here to the Bay Area. So Crown 4's Will Tran is at the emergency management in San Francisco, actually the air quality, and they monitor this kind of thing. So I know that they've probably gotten a lot of calls from people, Will. Good morning. 8:14 is the time right now. Time to talk to Gary Radnich. Hi, Gary. Have you heard about Chad Ochocinco? What he's doing during the NFL lockout? Trying out for Major League Soccer. He's got a pretty good kick, right? So they're giving it a shot. He is going to the Sporting Kansas City of Major League Soccer. He's going to their tryouts. So he started, let's say, yesterday. They had this trial period, and they said, we would love to see what he can do. Gare?
Yeah, Darya.
Hey, did you hear about this Ochocinco deal? I think
I'm worried about we better get somebody to call me. Rang once and that was it.
And that was it? All right.
That was it. We need experienced people.
Well, Zito's on vacation. So tell me, what do you think about Chad? Apparently, Ochocinco, I mean, we're not supposed to call him this anymore, but Ochocinco's been playing soccer since he was 4 years old. He just switched to football in high school.
Well, he hadn't been in the news for a couple of days. And Desperate Housewives, or not Desperate, was it? Basketball Wives is on hiatus. So.
Right.
Yeah, this is obvious. And anybody who's, I'm certainly no soccer expert, but you play with your feet. And you ask a soccer player, we have anybody in our audience who's a soccer player, that's entirely different than what he's used to.
Really? He says he warms up with a soccer ball. He's like, see, and look at him kick there, Gare.
Darya, I'm going to say it again. If you play any other sport, if you boxed, if you played basketball, obviously football, I'd bet on Ochocinco against the soccer guy, but these guys play with their feet.
That's funny. So forget it. So
no, again,
he got a mention.
I'm waiting for the phone to ring like I'm some expert. I'm just telling you, ask a soccer player the chances of Ochocinco. You can get a hold of Darya at cron4.com.
Oh, great. You know what?
By the way, I heard you, I was sitting by my bed waiting.
Talk about March Madness.
Talking about the office pools?
Yes. Oh, yeah. With the lost productivity, I think it was like, where is it? 8.4 million hours and $192 million, because everybody's going to be watching the games and talking about it and texting and everything else.
I would love that if I had a business. I'd walk through, see how my employees are doing.
Yeah.
Do you think Syracuse is going to win, you know? Do you hear what happened here? So I don't... Just because I'm such an expert, I don't think it'd be fair for our office pool, right?
Yes,
so
absolutely.
I don't participate.
Yes, yes.
And all of a sudden, Jason comes in and says, somebody handed in it's $10 at our place, right?
Yes.
It's a general manager, Mr. Greif, filled out a bracket for me.
Sure.
Well, I mean, sure.
No, I'm not surprised. Mark Dannon sponsored me. He put in my 10, and if I win, it's his money. So he's got $10 running.
But you know what Brian did for me?
What?
Picked all the last seeds. Took every 16th seed. And Jason saying, you sure you want this out there? I said, why? He says, well, Brian just thought it'd be funny. He picked all 16 seeds.
Oh, that's fun. Well, then the one that you'll be with me on probably with your fake bracket is, don't ask me why, but I picked like BYU, and I talked to you enough. And Dannon says, wow. He goes, you really think BYU, now that with the with the guy who was booted for the having sex and all, and I forgot. He says, honey, BYU is not going to make it.
He said, honey, in the workplace?
No. Forget it. All right.
No, let me ask you something. If you come home and you want to talk sports, right?
Right.
And you've got two messages there, one from me and one from Dannon.
Okay.
Who do you call, honestly?
You mean like the lifeline if I'm on Millionaire?
I honestly think, and this is, listen, I don't mind being self-deprecating, but I think you figure I'd have a 5-second conversation with you, say, here's what you need, goodbye.
Right.
You'd go to Dannon because Dannon would nurture you.
Well, he does. He takes care of me when it comes to sports. He really walks me through it. Yeah. Whereas you're like, don't you get it?
I've never called you honey in the workplace. Obviously I can kid because Mark's the best guy going, but... it's just I keep hearing Dannon, and I'm not jealous, but it's just for this segment... If you want to leave me and wait for somebody to figure out how to work the phone lines, do it to Dannon.
You're a little jealous.
Yes, a little bit. Yeah, okay, so what? I made you. You were reading the prompter when I stepped in there. Now you're ad-libbing. You're not having to read the same story 104 times. You're getting to see your personality.
All right.
When you do Good Morning Gilroy, it's going to be because of me.
All right. Give me a couple more before we go. Is it Luis Salazar with the eye? With losing the eye with the baseball? This is horrible.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Sure. Keeping the momentum going.
I want to hit three more things. There's that, which I was just, come on, that was a freak thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's sad. All right.
So there's that. No, but then I look at that injury, and I think anytime these sports people get injured, I think, whoa, it's extra bad for them because they're really used to doing active things. Like Serena Williams, she just came out with this thing saying how she hurt her foot, and she's depressed, and she felt like she was at the end of her rope because she's not playing, and it's horrible.
And the scary part for her, in the real world, of course, she was just a kid. But, 29 for tennis, too. She's been out a while, so we'll see. I mean, she's a great champion. Those sisters have, they revolutionized the sport. But this may be one of those where she's just been out so long, and now I guess she suffers from depression as well. Right. So, I mean, it's tough. And then, now you look at somebody, okay, so you look at Tiger Woods, who's been out for his various reasons. I watched him last night. Oh, and? On Jimmy Fallon. Yeah. Not much of anything. No, he didn't, flat, huh? Well, no, I mean, I'm sure Fallon told him what he was going to do, but the first thing they come out and he goes to Tiger, we haven't had you here for a couple of years. What have you been up to? Oh, well, I couldn't see that coming. You could tell he was ready for it. He just smiled. He said, I'm just playing some bad golf. And then it wasn't much. He just looked uncomfortable there. Yeah. But, no grilling, hey, leave the guy alone. Darya, beat up a guy for 6 months, and now just watch him play golf. He says he believes he's still the best in the world. Once he fixes his swing. I wouldn't argue with him. I know. I mean, how did he call it? He didn't call it fixing the swing. He said, get my swing dialed in. If I came home and I had a message to call the best golfer in the world, unlike you, I wouldn't stumble. You wouldn't call me? I would call Tiger. Yeah, see? Yeah. See? And next time, like I said, you're there for 7 hours, this long batch of news. Can't you and Dannon have your little, buddy thing there on sports somewhere during the 7 hours? You have to do it during my 5 minutes? All right, Gary, it's all Gary tomorrow, okay? Do me a favor, Gary. Figure out the phone thing. I'm sitting here just chomping at the bit. I can't move. I'm so excited, and then nothing. All right, Gare. We'll see you tomorrow. All right, Darya. All right, 8:22. We'll be right back. Nuclear experts from UC Berkeley and the University of Tokyo teamed up to host a panel about the earthquake, tsunami, and the nuclear meltdown threat. They answered questions about things including the possible effects from radiation from the disaster that they could have on the U.S., and the experts are trying to help ease people's fears. Welcome back. It's 8:40 right now, and California lawmakers will be getting together today trying to discuss again how to close the state's $26 billion budget deficit. They agreed on several deep cuts, but fell short on a vote that would eliminate the state's more than 400 redevelopment agencies. And then another issue is Governor Brown's plan to ask voters to approve a temporary extension of sales, income, and vehicle taxes that are set to expire this year. Both houses have already approved billions of dollars worth of cuts to state welfare, aid for the disabled, and Medi-Cal. But they still need to agree on that tax issue. University of California officials are preparing for budget cuts either way. UC Regents are warning the 10-campus system should be ready to lose anywhere between $500 million and $1 billion in public support. Right now, UC currently gets $3 billion a year, and the cuts would mean more tuition increases and less student access. And the amount of the reduction depends. Again, it goes back to whether or not the voters are going to be asked to approve tax extensions.
.com ski report.
All right, well, that's good stuff. So let's go to Collier Cook with snowbomb.com to talk about the conditions and what's up for this weekend.
What is up for this weekend, Collier?
Good morning, you guys. We've got great skiing conditions for this weekend. It's incredible up here.
Yeah, you got fresh powder, and you got what else? Do you have some competitions going on?
Well, there's a lot of events going on. Really, this time of year, there's some incredible spring savings going on at resorts, so it's super time to come on up and ski cheap.
Talk about the snow you gotten recently, because it's been dumping on and off for the last few days.
It has been. You know, I've got a 5-foot fence in my backyard I haven't seen for a week now.
Wow.
So.
Oh, that's funny.
And this is going to be one of those seasons that you think, you know, it starts to get warm down here in the next month and people pack away the skis. There's going to be great skiing and boarding for a while to come.
Our snowpack is up to 20 feet right now, and, you know, we've had Aprils where we'll have up to 8 feet of fresh snow, so don't put skis away.
And do you find that it's less busy in April because, I mean, what Dana was just saying, we kind of like, oh, it's getting warm, forget it. Is it less busy?
You know, from time to time, yeah, the skier numbers will be down, which is another great reason to get out there, you know.
Oh, no, absolutely. That's what I'm thinking. No, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Just get out there and have some fun on those resorts.
All right, so before we go, give me an example, like this weekend, of your best deal. Let's say, you know, I'm 2 adults with 2 kids.
Well, tomorrow, starting off Memorial, they've got a $15 for anybody skiing tomorrow. Just go to the resort, pick up a ticket for $15.
And is that, they do night skiing too, right?
Yeah, they do. They're open until 9 p.m.
Oh my gosh, I've
that's a
never
deal.
tried that. Yeah, that's awesome.
And then at snowbomb.com, we've got a 3-pack for Kirkwood that's just $130, so you can spread that amongst 3 different people.
Oh,
saving
all right.
you up to $100 on those tickets.
Nice.
And at Homewood Mountain Resort, we've got $35 tickets loaded, and that's a 28% savings.
Good times. All right, Collier, thanks
Absolutely.
thanks for joining us this morning and the update with the deals and great skiing and boarding up in the Sierra this weekend.